And you have a particular group coming up that has triggered this conversation. I mean, we're going to get into talking about men, but could you
Yes,
say a little bit about that group for colleagues who might be interested?
sure. So I think for as a male therapist and has gone through training, I think a lot of male therapists will recognize this, and female therapists, was that when I trained and when I talked to a lot of my colleagues who were on trainer programs, men were often in the minority. So I was on a course of 20 people. There was two other males apart from me, and this seems to be a common thing. And I know that when I've gone to therapy workshops or conferences, I am generally in the minority. So I have always been interested in setting up a group really for male professionals, because I think that myself, I've felt not isolated, I think, as a therapist, but wanting to be able to connect with other men in terms of their experiences of therapy and whether they practice in a maybe different way. Or so I set up this group called Men as Nurturers, really for not just therapists, but for male helpers. I put so it could be doctors, it could be physiotherapists, it could be anybody who's in the helping professions, for men to join together and to sit with each other and to explore their experiences, their challenges, and to create a kind of safe space for them. And so last year we were talking about nurturing, us as men as nurturers, and what that felt like, and how we developed that. And alongside that, closely, it was linked to intimacy and how we express and receive intimacy. So that's the kind of basis of that group.
Yeah, and that's coming up soon this year. Yeah.
That's coming. So we're on the 15th of September, based in Nottingham. There'll be again a group of us meeting, and this year we will be. Again, creating the same space, but we'll be focusing on anger and how we express our anger, how we feel around other people's anger, how do we express anger in a healthy way, and how we can learn to express anger in a more healthy way. What's our default expression of anger? So we'll be exploring that, but also in that environment. And just one other thing, I mean, what I have found, interestingly, trying to get men together in a gathering at therapists, I send out, hundreds of invites to men. And I was even this morning flicking through all the people on LinkedIn, and, or you go to counselling directory, and there's on a page, there's probably one male therapist on each page, if that. But men do generally find it quite difficult to get to these events, and I've heard that from other therapists to me, saying, I don't want to sit in a room with other men. So it's sometimes a struggle to get men to it. And I know that I've been part of and running men's groups for many years. Again, since I've trained 15 years, and getting men to men's groups to learn to express their feelings and emotions within that environment is very difficult.